We're calling this JDE As A Service. Todd called this earlier Emerald Cloud. So Emerald Cloud is our managed cloud offering. We have JDE configured installed on Amazon Cloud. From a customer perspective, all that you get access to, you have your URL, you can use JDE, and your developers have access to development fat client machines. So you use JDE. You don't have to maintain or worry at all about JDE or backups on infrastructure. We partner Amazon with that. They handle all the infrastructure items, everything from storage, servers, virtualizations. We come in maintaining the operating system, the database, and on top of the database, we use our encrypto technology. So we encrypt all the sensitive data that you have in JDE, so it's protected. Even if someone penetrates to that system, it's protected. Then you have your WebLogic, your WebSphere, of course JDE itself. We manage this whole stack. On top of JDE, we add all our monitoring tools. Fraud Patrol, Todd mentioned before, proactively monitoring your data to detect anomalies and fraud, and sending alerts to your auditors, your controllers. And Emerald Prism, which is now in over 100 accounts globally, our monitoring tool, our CNC monitoring tool. So we combine all of that expertise into this offering we're calling Emerald Cloud. So why AWS? Why Amazon? So we have been using and developing our capabilities with Amazon for over 5 years now. I have the Gartner Magic Quadrant over here. They have been in the top right corner, the leaders corner, for over 10 years. They've been doing this for a long time. Maybe this is the second or third time you hear about them, but they've been doing this for a very long time. One of the facts that I think it's interesting, most people don't know this, is the AWS business unit, part of Amazon, last year had close to 1.5 million active paying customers. So think about this, 1.4 plus million companies using AWS. They were approximately 13 billion in revenue. They're already on track to a lot more than that for 2017. They have over 70 services. I'm going to show you a little bit about them. And the one statistic that blows my mind, on any given day in 2016, they have deployed at least 100,000 servers. So picture this, every day, Saturday and Sunday, 100,000 new servers. So it's insane. So they've been in this space for a while. And Gartner estimates that Amazon has 10 times the scale and the capacity of all the other 14 competitors combined. So how crazy that is, right? Think about this, Azure, Rackspace, all the other competitors. They're 10 times bigger than all the top 14 combined. That's crazy. The other interesting point is, really, if they were an independent company, they would be the fastest growing multi-billion enterprise in the US. They're growing over 55% year over year. And it's estimated that right now they own over 45% of the cloud market. So that's why we decided to partner with Amazon. JDE has an open platform statement. Of course, we support JDE in other clouds and other platforms, but this is who we decided to partner with for the JDE As a Service offering. I mentioned 70 different services. You know, you start working with Amazon, you log in, you see this console, and you're like, cool, there's a few icons. And then you start clicking, and then you realize there are a lot more icons. And then you start learning about them, you start getting comfortable, and then you realize there are a lot more. So it's very broad, very broad range of services and capabilities. Everything from computing to analytics, development tools, database services. So there's a lot. And the way we do this, we collect and we use multiple services, we combine them to create the environment, the footprint for our customers. Amazon Global Infrastructure, we can't talk about AWS without talking about one of its key differentiators, which is its global presence. This chart is 2 weeks old, and last night I learned it's already outdated. So Amazon has geographic regions that they operate. In the US, they have 5. They have one in Canada that says coming soon. Well, it's now GA. So it's hard to keep up. We create these slides and they're always releasing new things. Each one of those regions has one or more availability zone, and this is an Amazon concept. And each availability zone has a group of data centers. So the best way to think about this, think about a region. A region has availability zones have data centers. Why is this important? Within an availability zone, and actually within a region, All the data centers are connected in a super fast way. So just like your local network connectivity. So I can have my application server running one availability zone, and I can have my database running in another one that is maybe 50 miles apart. And it works. And that's how we deploy JDE As on AWS. We spread that across multiple availability zones. So out of the bat, you get high availability, right? Because you're spreading that. We use load balancing and all of that to guarantee uptime, but this is one of the key differentiators for AWS in this space, the ability to do deployments like that. So why are customers migrating to Emerald Cloud, to JDE As on AWS? They want to get out of the hardware business, right? IT should be focusing on the business. We have some customers that do a good job of getting all the IT competency and align that with their customers' needs and create technology for their own customers. So the role of IT has to shift from managing hardware and servers to being a differentiator in your space. You shouldn't be worried about switches, SAN, storage, or anything like that anymore. It doesn't make sense. Also, you have one vendor. You don't have no more finger pointing. The DBA said this, the storage guy said that, the CNC said this, the developer said that, right? You eliminate that. You don't need to get in the middle of that. There's no need to. AWS platform allows us to expand and contract as needed. We can set up what's called auto-scaling groups, and your infrastructure can grow as needed. As your workload grows, it can grow automatically. New servers can come in automatically. Just like that, if you don't have activity in the middle of the night, you can contract. You can have things configured to automatically contract. The benefit here is you optimize your resource consumption and consequentially your bill at the end of the month. We have been working JDE As for a long time. So Emerald Cloud really combines our JDE As expertise with our Amazon expertise. So this is really where we combine those two together. As I mentioned before, AWS is the #1 cloud provider and has been for the last 10 years. So that's a lot of customers talk to us because they want to use AWS or already use AWS in another part of their business. We use AWS military-grade encryption combined with Encrypto to have all your sensitive data encrypted. So if someone penetrates one of the servers, there's nothing that they can really steal from you because everything is encrypted. Since we deploy this across multiple data centers, built-in high availability. But if you want to set up disaster recovery, I want to move all my data to Frankfurt or to Australia, you can do that. It's not that hard to create a plan and set up a few things and start transferring your data somewhere else overseas. Pretty straightforward. As I mentioned before, we combine our monitoring capabilities, Emerald Prism, Fraud Patrol, so we can really protect our environment. We know what's going on at any given time. We have very strict SLAs, so we pass through Amazon SLAs, so there are guarantees for performance and guarantees for availability, and that's passed through to the customer. We also have guaranteed response time on tickets and requests that you guys contact us for issues. It's very price competitive because you don't have to oversize. You can size it, play with it, adjust as you go until you get to the right size, and then at that point you can lock in if you want to. If not, you can keep going. On demand, you can grow as needed. It's not an issue. And finally, we've been talking about JDE As, but it's not just JDE As. All the customers that we have migrated have moved other applications to AWS over time. So really, those are the 12 reasons. What I really want to leave you guys with is, JDE As is well positioned for the future. And when you combine JDE As with the public cloud, you can really compete with any SaaS, ERP, or solution in the market space. Really.